For decades, Phyllida Law was known as one of Britain's most respected character actresses, a performer whose warmth, wit, and remarkable screen presence made even the smallest role memorable. But for millions of people, she was also known as something much more personal, the mother of two extraordinary actresses, Emma Thompson and Sophie Thompson. Her career stretched across theater, television, and film, and she eventually became a familiar face to audiences around the world. Now, the entertainment world is remembering a remarkable woman whose life was filled with acting, family, resilience, and unforgettable performances. This is the full life story of Phyllida Law, her early years, her rise in British theater and television, her famous family connections, her most memorable roles, and what has been publicly revealed about her death. Phyllida Ann Law was born on July 6, 1932, in Glasgow, Scotland. She grew up in Scotland during a period when opportunities for women in the performing arts were very different from what they are today. From an early age, Law developed an interest in the arts. But interestingly, acting was not originally her only ambition. She eventually gained acceptance to the Bristol Old Vic Theatre School, one of Britain's respected institutions for theatrical training. At first, she had intended to work as a stage designer, but something changed when she became involved with acting. She discovered that performing was something she genuinely loved, and what began as a different career plan became the beginning of a remarkable acting journey. At Bristol Old Vic, Law appeared in theatrical productions and developed the skills that would eventually allow her to build a career spanning more than 6 decades. It was also during this period that she met fellow actor Eric Thompson. The two would eventually become husband and wife. Phyllida Law married actor Eric Thompson in 1957. Eric Thompson would later become particularly famous for his work on the beloved children's television program The Magic Roundabout. Together, Phyllida and Eric had 2 daughters, Emma Thompson and Sophie Thompson. Both daughters would eventually become successful actresses themselves. That family connection became one of the most fascinating parts of Phyllida Law's story. Rather than simply being remembered as the mother of famous actresses, however, Law established her own reputation long before her daughters became internationally recognized stars. Her own career was built through years of theater work, television appearances, and film performances. Sadly, her marriage to Eric Thompson ended with his death in 1982. Eric died from a heart attack at the age of 53. After his death, Phyllida continued raising her family while maintaining her professional life. Law became particularly respected for her work on the British stage. Her theatrical career included appearances in productions that allowed her to work with some of the most respected performers and writers of the era. Among the productions associated with her career were A Voyage Round My Father and Habeas Corpus. She also appeared in the London production of La Cage aux Folles. Her work was not based on being the biggest star in every production. Instead, Law became known as a dependable and highly talented character performer, the kind of actress who could enter a scene and immediately give a character personality and emotional depth. She also had the opportunity to perform alongside legendary actor Alec Guinness. These theatrical experiences helped establish Law as a serious performer and gave her a foundation that would remain important throughout the rest of her career. British television became another major part of Phyllida Law's professional life. Over the years, she appeared in numerous television productions, including Dixon of Dock Green, Dr. Finlay's Casebook, Rumpole of the Bailey, and other British dramas and series. Her television work demonstrated her versatility. She could play warmth and humor, but she could also handle serious dramatic material. And unlike some performers whose careers were concentrated into one short period, Law continued finding work across different generations of British television. That longevity became one of the defining characteristics of her career. Although Law had worked in film earlier, her movie career became particularly visible during the 1990s. One of her important breakthroughs came with Peter's Friends, directed by Kenneth Branagh. Branagh was then married to Emma Thompson, and Law's appearance in the film helped introduce her to a wider international audience. She subsequently appeared in Much Ado About Nothing, another major production associated with Kenneth Branagh. The film featured an impressive ensemble cast, including Emma Thompson. This was one of several occasions when Phyllida Law and her daughter appeared together professionally. Law also appeared in the film Emma, where she played Mrs. Bates. Her performance was memorable even though the character had relatively little dialogue. That was part of Law's special talent. She could communicate personality and emotion through expressions, timing, and presence rather than relying on long speeches. One of the most meaningful projects in Phyllida Law's career was The Winter Guest. The film gave Law the opportunity to appear opposite her daughter, Emma Thompson. The story explored the complicated relationship between a mother and daughter, making the casting especially meaningful because the two performers had a real mother-daughter relationship away from the screen. Their chemistry gave the movie an emotional authenticity. For audiences, it was a rare opportunity to watch a real mother and daughter bring their personal understanding of one another into a dramatic performance. The film became an important part of Law's later career and demonstrated that she was much more than simply Emma Thompson's mother. She was an accomplished actress in her own right. Phyllida Law continued appearing in films and television throughout the later stages of her career. Her credits included productions such as Anna Karenina, The Time Machine, The Borrowers, Nanny McPhee, A Little Chaos, and numerous television programs. She also appeared in series such as Doc Martin, Foyle's War, Waking the Dead, Rosemary and Thyme, and Kingdom. Her ability to remain active across different generations of entertainment is one of the reasons her career stands out. She did not disappear after becoming an established theater performer. Instead, she continually adapted to new forms of entertainment. Law was not only an actress, she also became an author. In 2009, she published Notes to My Mother-in-Law, a book inspired by her experiences with family life. She later wrote How Many Camels Are There in Holland? Dementia, Ma and Me, reflecting on her experiences caring for her mother. These books revealed another side of Phyllida Law, thoughtful, humorous, honest, and deeply connected to family. Her writing demonstrated that she could tell stories outside the theater and screen as naturally as she performed them. Phyllida Law's acting career remained remarkably long. Her final screen appearance came in the 2020 film Then Came You. By then, she had already spent more than 6 decades working professionally in entertainment. Her career had taken her from the stages of Bristol and London to British television and internationally released films. She had worked with some of the industry's most celebrated actors and directors, and she had watched her own daughters build extraordinary careers of their own. For someone who originally considered becoming a stage designer, her journey into acting turned out to be a remarkable and lasting success. Phyllida Law died on August 18, 2026. She was 94 years old. Her personal manager, Jackie Lego, confirmed that Law died peacefully at home, surrounded by her family. The statement described her passing as supremely peaceful. However, a specific medical cause of death has not been publicly disclosed in the reports confirming her death. That distinction is important. There have been no reliable reports establishing a particular illness, disease, or medical condition as the cause of her death. So, rather than speculating, the responsible way to report her passing is simply this: Phyllida Law died peacefully at home surrounded by her family, and her specific cause of death has not been publicly revealed. Her death brought an end to an extraordinary life that had connected British theater, television, cinema, literature, and one of the country's best-known acting families. Phyllida Law leaves behind a remarkable legacy in British theater, television, and film. She was admired for her warmth, versatility, and unforgettable character performances. Beyond her own career, her influence lives on through her daughters, Emma Thompson and Sophie Thompson. Phyllida Law's life was filled with talent, family, and memorable performances. Her legacy will continue to live on through her work and the generations she inspired. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more celebrity life stories and cause of death documentaries.